Good morning, everybody. How are you doing this fine day? Not sure when you're going to see this, but it's Saturday morning. I've got my kid watching a little Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Broke away to shoot this video real quick, so I was thinking about it. This is based off of a viewer comment, as well as, kind of a general thing floating around the knife community and with people that are into knives and stuff like that. Basically, what the fluff... Sorry, I say that way too much. What is up with all this early lockup talk and people wanting the earliest possible lockup and this, and that? Well, first off, part of it is just one more thing for people to talk about and obsess about. Sorry. It's, one more point that people can bring up and say, well, I like it like this, and this knife has it like this, and get it your way. Oh, wait, no, that's Burger King. But, yeah, so it's one more point, right? We're knife nuts. We talk. I have 600 videos about knives. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot of stuff I talk about that a number of people are going to say, "Who gives a crap? That's stupid. Such a small detail, whatever." But that's what us crazy knife people do. We talk about the little tiny details and things like that. Let's compare a little lockup action. I have my Southern Grind Bad Monkey folder over here, and then my Emerson CQC 13. Very similar. I've done some videos on this Bad Monkey. I'm not sure if those will go up before or after this video. Sometimes I'll do multiple videos, and I'll put up the one that I think is the best material being talked about, so sometimes it's before I actually show off a knife. But anyways, both titanium liners, which is kind of important in this discussion. However, if we can get a little close-up action here, we do have a little difference in lockup, and this is basically out-of-box lockup. I've played with both of these. They've settled in a little, but, this is kind of how they came. So on the left here, we have the Southern Grind. You can see it's actually about 60% engaged, and I'm talking the interior of the lock bar, how far over on the tang that is, whereas the Emerson is probably 25%, 30%, somewhere around there. So definitely later lockup out of the box on the Southern Grind than the Emerson. Now the main thing that you will notice, really, to put it simply, the Southern Grind it's going to have less life in it, less openings and less hard use before it needs to be sent in to be adjusted, or, well, ultimately before you start getting lock rock, because titanium is going to wear as it moves in, and eventually it's either going to, just depending on how much bend it has, it's eventually going to hit the other side of the scale, and it can't, it's ran out of runway, so to speak, for it to move in and adjust itself. That's part of the Walker liner system, is that it's self-adjusting. As it wears, because the tang is angled, it'll continue to lock up securely. Or if it's not bent over with too much force, it'll kind of just stop here, hang out, and then you'll get up and down. Right now it's extremely secure, it's extremely strong, couldn't ask for more. But it does have a slightly less life than this one, which is also 100% secure, even more secure. Man, I love this thing. This is my new EDC for now. But yeah, so it's super secure, but it's got tons and tons of life in it before it needs to be sent in for a new liner or to have a bigger stop pin put in. I'm not sure what Emerson does to determine which one he does on the knife. I've heard of him doing both, resetting the lock with a bigger stop pin or just replacing the whole liner, which is a benefit of a liner lock as opposed to like a Strider. A Strider is far more expensive to just replace the whole lock side. It's thicker titanium, there's more milling work involved to cut the relief, and of course it probably has some sort of finish on it, whether it's a nice stonewash or heat flamed. So yeah, it's half the knife really. Whereas on a liner like this, it's a little easier and more cost-effective just to put a new liner on the knife. Which, by the way, I don't know if I've really mentioned this a lot about Emerson's, but they have a similar warranty to Strider. I haven't quite heard of the craziness, you know, like snapping your blade in half, doing something stupid and getting a new blade. But as far as your knife wearing out and needing to be refurbished, well, not looks-wise, but just functionality-wise, they have a lifetime warranty too. I mean, you know, it's same type thing. You send it in, sharpen it up, fix the lock or whatever needs to be done, basically get back a new functioning knife. So very similar. I should have included that in my cheese and wine video. But yeah, so just wanted to take, it's not a huge thing, the early lockup. Really, it just comes down to you're going to get more life out of the earlier lockup knife before it wears out. If you have a steel liner, it's not as big of an issue. It's going to take a lot longer to wear. In fact, I would call it a non-issue. But when you're dealing with titanium, which is used for weight reduction as well as increased strength, and, you know, personally, I like the stick. I just like that little, you know, confirming stick. And that's one thing I like about Emerson's is you get that little stick. You can hear that right there. And it's not annoying stick like with some frame locks when they're done too strong and you have to like put a penny in there and pry them apart. Just a nice little reaffirming, yep, I am solidly in place, you can trust me type click. I like that. But of course, as the liner wears in and the tension of the bar starts to weaken, you know, just like anything, it's got so much energy stored in that bend, and you know, the further out it goes, the less strength that'll be. It'll actually stop sticking at all, which is actually my most carried Emerson. I just cleaned up the scales with a toothbrush on this last night. It was looking kind of gnarly. But by the way, that'll spiff up your Emerson scales. Just take a toothbrush and like some Ballistol or whatever and just clean it up. You'll clean out all the gunk, get it oiled up again. It looks perfectly new. This one here is about 50-60%, and yeah, it just disengages like nothing. Love this knife. Beautiful blade. But perfectly centered. Emerson's also, sorry to go on an Emerson rant, I'm kind of into them right now. They also seem to, I don't know, they like equalize themselves. You know, you may get an Emerson and stiff and maybe off-centered and this or that, but it's like, I swear, after you break it in over a period of time, it just like finds its home, and all of a sudden you'll look at your knife and you're like, wow, it's centered now and it's super smooth and the lockup is perfect, and you know, it's interesting. But anyway, so I'll call it quits for this video. Early lockup, that's the gist. Get more life out of it. Plus, it's just another thing for knife nuts to talk about. All right, guys, later.